Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite NBA player prop picks today. We're talking Saturday, March 22nd. Happy Saturday. Happy day 3, round 2 of the tournament. The Splash Zone is back in your life. I'm going to have 3 NBA player prop picks for you guys to lock in for tonight's NBA betting slate. We only got one of those to be a plus money banger because it's just kind of an interesting slate that I didn't quite fall in love with, but I did find 3 plays that I do really like. Before we can get into that, we got to do a recap from yesterday, which ended up being a down day. We had 5 plays. We got 2 of those 5 to cash, down 1.1 units. Now, the 2 plays that hit, they hit relatively sweat-free. Oddly, I think he ended with 7 assists. KP scored 6 points in the first quarter in the first maybe 8 minutes, or first 4 to 6 minutes of the first quarter. The 3 that lost didn't even have a chance. James Harden scored 30 points. Donovan Mitchell, I think, scored 5 or 7 points. That was just a bad bet. You know, people did not like that I was on that play because I was betting on the positive regression, and those people were right. So just a fat L on Donnie Mitchell. And the Fred VanVleet one, you know, he didn't come close. He had 3 assists in the game. It was points for him. I just had the market wrong. I thought he was going to be passing a lot, and I was incorrect on that as well. I really liked the read. Didn't really work out. I feel like I've said that a lot this season. Up about 25 units on the year. Up about 4.6% ROI on the year as well. Really hoping to get to 40. I was by the end of the month. Doesn't quite seem like that's going to be the case, but hey, let's get 10 units of profit over the next 8 days. I think that's something that we can do. In terms of months, March has been frustrating. It started off hot. You know, there was a stretch we were doing a pretty good job in the month of March. Hasn't quite been the case recently, and now we're down a little less than a unit on the entire month. Let's get this in the green. Let's see if we can have a better start to Saturday than we had yesterday. But yeah, 3 plays for you guys to lock in. Just a reminder to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Everything that I'm looking at, I look at on Props Madness. That's what I'm looking for. Props Madness, my favorite NBA betting tool. They're phenomenal. Don't let my lack of success this NBA season make you think that it's because of Props Madness, because there are people that use Props Madness every day that are up a lot more units than me. I just haven't quite found my rhythm really this entire year. Hopefully we can turn that around. I know I've said that a lot. Anyways, so this Nets-Pacers game, complete pass, in my opinion. These 2 teams just played. I made the mistake of betting on Keon Johnson in that game, and he didn't do jack. He scored 6 points, and that game went into overtime. Halliburton's missed about a week. I think he's listed as questionable, but the Pacers also have a bunch of their G League guys also listed as questionable, so he is a true questionable. That's something that I got from Josh Landers. If you want to know if a player's playing or not, look at how the team marks the G League players. Because if they're all listed as out, obviously the Pacers are expecting to field a big enough roster without needing those guys. The natural play here would be Siakam, who just played horribly last time these 2 teams played. Scored 6 points, only took 6 shots. It's a really good matchup for him from a play type perspective. A lot of green all the way down. In terms of players actually scoring against the Nets, they have performed well. Players with a similar scoring profile to Siakam. And that is a nice positive regression spot after cashing in 4 straight and in 5 of 6. But to me, this game's a stay away. I do have an official bet in this one, though. We're going Dyson Daniels, and I took him on the rebounds. Now, this is the exact bet that I got, plus 105 at DraftKings. Now, I should say that this is the exact bet that I sent out. I, of course, went fishing, my new favorite thing to do, on NoVig. I was able to get plus 110 odds, and I got that matched on NoVig. It's a platform where it's technically called a peer-to-peer exchange. It's basically a way in which you can request odds, and then someone has to match that on the other side. So I've mentioned them a lot in my videos recently. It's a phenomenal product. I mean, I put in a request to get plus 110, and I got that matched. There's no funny business. I just was able to get plus 110 odds. I sent it out at plus 105. It's going to get tracked at plus 105, so it's not really fair to the people, and it's not an accurate summation of my numbers if I track the NoVig price. But I just wanted to put that out there, NoVig. I put a link to them in the description of the video. Anyways, in terms of the play. Now, one thing that I really liked to do, and I really haven't had a lot of success with that this year, I call it fade recent results, right? Bet the opposite of what's been happening recently, betting on things to even out. That just hasn't been really working out at all this year. And we're not doing that with this play. Long story short, with Dyson Daniels. He's hit this number over 5.5 rebounds in 5 of his last 6 games. Now, 4 separate times he landed on 6, so maybe that is a little bit scary, but the time he missed, he landed on 5, and he had 10 rebound chances. Like, we'll take, gladly, 10 rebound chances. The biggest thing for Dyson Daniels is you look at the guys who are out. Now, Jalen Johnson's been out for a while. They also have Clint Capella, who's been out for a while. And then Larry Nance Jr. has missed the last couple games. The most important thing here is no Jalen Johnson. You look at games in which Jalen Johnson has missed, and you look at the entire season. It's 32 games. It's a hit rate of just under 60%. Now, the first of those games, the first, let's call it 8 or whatever, didn't quite go Dyson Daniels' way. So you look at his last, 28. That's what I meant to look at. Actually, his last, is 25. It's 68%. It's 17 of his last 25, averaging 6.5 rebounds per game. That all looks good. The matchup against the Warriors. Now, Steph Curry is out, which makes it kind of tough to know who to bet on the Warrior side. You think Jimmy Butler, is it going to come with scoring without Steph, or is he going to be even more playmaking, which is what he's done a very good job of doing as a member of the Warriors? Could it be Podziemski? Hard to say. And it's also hard to say how that's going to impact where the rebounds are coming from. What we do know is that guards similar to Dyson Daniels have had success against the Warriors, including Dyson Daniels himself, who had 6 rebounds on an over-under of 4.5 last time these two teams played. The other guy, Christian Brown, 6 rebounds, over-under 4.5. Cole Anthony cashed it in 2 games as well. Look at by position, it's not amazing, but it's still positive. 8 of the last 15 guards specifically have hit their rebound prop over against the Warriors. And you just hover over the matchup. D rank versus position. How do the Warriors rank in terms of rebounds allowed to the guard position? 5th most. So all that stuff kind of tracks with it being a good option for Dyson Daniels. In that game, 6 rebounds, 10 rebound chances. Now, Larry Nance Jr. missed that game, who again is out for tonight. Look at games without Larry Nance. It's 25. Let's see. It's a decent amount of games. I guess Larry Nance hasn't played a lot this year. It's 43 games. 20 of 43 isn't amazing. But as I mentioned, the biggest thing here is the no Jalen Johnson. And then Clint Capella as well just adds to more rebounds. The other guy I did look at was Onyeka Okongwu, because it's also a good matchup for center rebound props. As you can see, 3rd most. But his number is just a little bit too high for my liking. Honestly, I would rather take this under than anything. It's 10.5, a number that he, even without Clint Capella, which is the biggest thing for Onyeka Okongwu, it's still 6 of 14 games. It's averaging 16, 15 rebound chances. If you're telling me he's got to catch 11 boards on 15 rebound chances, I don't like those numbers. As we saw with Daniels, it was closer to 9 and 10, which is a much more reasonable rebound chance number. Even games against teams that are not good at rebounding, it's only been 5 games, but it's 2 of 5, and the rebound chances 16, so a little bit better. Now, twice he hooked with 10 on 18 and 10 on 14. Juicy matchup against the Wizards, couldn't do anything. So, if anything, this would be an under on Onyeka Okongwu, just because I think that the line's a little bit too high. But I like the Dyson Daniels play better. That's play number 1. I don't have a play here in this Wizards-Knicks game. The Wizards, they're just playing all their guys, but not playing them any minutes, which is why all their lines are so low. The Knicks side, the fade recent results part of my brain wants to go right back to Miles McBride, but he's been shooting terribly. And as we learned with Donovan Mitchell, it's not quite that easy. It could be Cat, but he's got a high number of 28.5. Granted, no Brunson. Obviously, his usage rate is going to be high, but even then, 28.5 points is a lot. Now, it's a juicy matchup. The Wizards, 4 of 6 have hit their over, including Cat, who had 32 and 30 points in back-to-back games against the Wizards. From a play type perspective, it's a lot of green against the bad Wizards defense, so I get it. Again, it's just a little bit too high for my liking. The official play that I did bet, and this was somebody that I normally have sworn off, it's Kyle Kuzma. So I took him over 22.5 points plus rebounds. It was best offered at minus 120 at DraftKings. Looks like that actually moved down to minus 118 at FanDuel, so you're able to get a better price than what I locked in. So take this at over 22.5, minus 118 odds at FanDuel. The biggest thing and the biggest reason why I like backing Kuzma is because there's no Damian Lillard. Now, he's only played 2 games with Giannis and without Dame, but it's over in both of them. Now, he did it somehow against both of his 2 former teams, the Wizards and the Lakers. So if you think that that's why he went over and not because there was no Dame, then sure, that is possible. But it's a really good matchup for Kyle Kuzma. And what I love here, if we go to his points, the volume. 19 shots, 16 shots. If we're asking a guy to just go over what his point prop is of 16.5 while taking 19 and 16 shots, I feel pretty good about that. The matchup is good against the Kings, allow the most points per game to spot up shooters. Now, they don't do much in transition, but it's because it just gets tracked more so as spot up than transition. So even if you even those out, it's still an average matchup, but definitely not scary, but a lot to the spot up. And then fouling. They fouled the 10th highest rate and 9th highest rate on the year. I think it's still the 9th highest over the last 10 games as well. I did look into that. Now, guys similar to Kuzma admittedly haven't done amazing against the Kings. If you go by position, it's a little bit better. It's 7 of 15, but that just looks at his position, which is forward. From a rebounds perspective, it's over in 1 of 2. I mean, we see his over-unders priced at 5.5, juiced to the gills towards the over. First one was great, 8 rebounds on 13 rebound chances. The next one, not as good, 5 rebounds on 7 rebound chances. Now, it's not a lot of deferred rebounds, which is good, but we're hoping for more than 7 rebound chances, and we're hoping for more than 5 rebounds. But this is where the matchup is really good. 7 of 12 players with his rebounding profile have hit their over against the Kings, including Kyle Kuzma, granted, as a member of the Wizards, but he had 7 rebounds against them when he was on the Wizards. 7 of 12 in terms of his rebounding style. Looks good. Now, I was debating going PRA and adding the assist. The reason why I didn't, so you're going to see that he's hit his assists. I mean, 2.5 is low, admittedly. You're going to see that he's hit that in both games without, with Giannis, without Dame. But what scared me off, 5 assists on 4 potential assists. So this is a stat tracking error where the scorekeeper was too generous with the assists that he gave Kyle Kuzma. There's basically at least one time Kyle Kuzma had an assist that wasn't even tracked as a potential assist. And the reason why this happens is because potential assists are computer generated and actual assists are scorekeeper generated. So if you have a situation like this, it means that the scorekeeper was a little bit too generous with tracking the assists for Kuzma. The next game, 5 assists on 5 potentials. So that's that's technically 10 assists on 9 potential assists in these 2 games. So I think that, again, 2.5 is a low number, but I think that it's a little bit scary just looking at his conversion rate, and that's not going to continue game over game. It is a good matchup from an assist perspective. If you're just isolating that, it would be a good matchup. The Kings are a ball pressure type of defense, so guys that have the ball in their hands, they try to get it out of their hands, which is why they give up so many points to spot up shooters, because they're just aggressively not trying to get beat by the pick and roll ball handler. As you can see, they're top 10. So that would honestly lead to Giannis wouldn't be terrible with his assists, but without Dame, he really doesn't play make that much. I mean, it's over in the first 3, but the 3 most recent ones, and the potential is already, 3 of 10, 3 of 6, and 4 of 11 aren't terrible, but even then, if we're looking like 10, 6, and 11 potential assists is over under 6.5, that's a little bit scary. So that's why I didn't go with Giannis assists. Another good matchup here is Brook Lopez on the points. Him with Giannis and without Dame has decent stats. 2 of 6, I guess, isn't that decent, but the matchup is phenomenal. 7 of 11 with the scoring profile have hit the over, and you go down the play types, you see a lot of green. So I wouldn't hate if anybody would rather go with Brook Lopez than Kuzma. I liked Kuzma because it's a smaller sample size, but it's better stats for that small sample size. But we'll see. We'll see. I like the Kuzma. Again, if you want to go Brook, I wouldn't hate that either. On the Kings side, I was looking at Malik Monk points, but he just went 5 of 10 from deep, 12 of 19 from the field, just scored 34 points. You're begging some negative regression after these types of games. It's not bad for DeMar DeRozan, DDR, because he kind of walks into the mid-range shot, and that's where the Bucks give up the 7th most. So not bad for DeMar DeRozan if you wanted to go with him. This would be a better fade recent result situation because, the 2 times he went under 22 and 22 points. So I don't hate the look on DeMar DeRozan either. Valanciunas on the boards is a smash, has been a smash without Sabonis. The scary part is, and you need to look at him as a member of the Kings, so we'll look at him with DeMar DeRozan. We just don't know his minutes, 15 minutes last game, 14 minutes the game before that, and then 25 in the middle. So are they going to go big and match him up against Brook Lopez? Probably not, because Brook's going to be out on the perimeter. So are they going to go small? It's too much scariness with if he's going to play or not. If you tell me he's going to play 20 minutes, he'll hit this over easily, but we don't know that. So that's why taking it over or an under is a little bit too scary with Giannis. So that is our second official play, is the Kyle Kuzma one. Hopefully going through my thought process is helpful. If not, let me know. And then this last game, admittedly, was a little bit tough, but I do really like the play that I ended on. It was Luka, and I took him on the assists. This is the exact bet that I took. -115 at FanDuel, Luka over 7.5 assists. I didn't go fishing on no vig on this one. I just took the 7.5 straight up, put a unit on that bad boy. So Luka, right off the bat, one thing that I want to mention is LeBron has been upgraded. Well, not upgraded. He's been out for about a week. He's questionable tonight. Now they're pricing the Lakers' stats as if LeBron's playing. So if LeBron gets ruled out, this 7.5 immediately becomes a smash. If LeBron gets ruled in, well, then they're pricing it like he's getting ruled in. So to me, I think that there's no downside right now in betting with the assumption that LeBron is in. Because again, we're getting the same odds that we would if he was actually ruled in. So let's look at Luka as a member of the Lakers. We're going to take out, so these first 2 games, he played 24 and 23 minutes. You really can't take anything from those games. So you take those 2 games out, it's over. 7.5 assists in 8 of 14 games, averaging about 8.5 per game. The potential assists are pretty good. Now this one game, March 8th, the NBA tracking data is down like every single game that was played on March 8th. So this is technically being tracked as a 0. Now, he only had 3 assists in that game, so obviously he had a low number, but it wasn't 0 potential assists. Let's just call it averaging 15 potential assists in these 14 games with the Lakers. Even if you look at games with Bron, with Bron. And again, we want to take out these first 2 because you really can't take anything from there. It's 5 of his last 9 potential assists. Let's call it 13 average. So it's a little bit lower in his potential assists with LeBron, but needing 13 or 14 to get 8 assists, I'm good with that. And the matchup is as good as you could possibly ask for against the Chicago Bulls. 10 of 15 players with Luka's playmaking style have hit their assist prop over. You hover over the matchup. They allow the most points, or fourth most assists overall, the most assists, and Luka's number 1 assist zone, which is the restricted area. Basically, guys that drive, that run a lot of pick and rolls, annihilate assists against the Chicago Bulls. That's why they are such a good matchup. And just to show you Luka, so I'm looking at him as a member of the Lakers, and I'm taking out those first 2 games. So I'm looking at February 19th until now. Luka has played, he's played 13 games with the Lakers. He drives at the 5th highest rate in the NBA, or I should say he averages the 5th most drives per game in the entire NBA, but he has the highest assist rate on those drives, averaging assist rate of 16.3% solely on drives. It's higher than Trae Young. Somehow Cam Thomas is up there, which is hilarious. Higher than Cade, higher than Jimmy Butler, who's been awesome from an assist perspective recently. So guys, and this is why I chose Luka over LeBron, over Austin Reeves, because he drives more than them, and those are the guys that are going to rack up the assists. Now, Reeves, obviously his numbers are way lower, but in games with Luka and LeBron, his assists are much more hit or miss. Like, it started off awesome, but again, these first 2 games, Luka barely played. So you want to take those 2 games out. So you look at the last 7, 3 of 7 potential assists are kind of down as well, averaging 7. Now this one, I think he actually did have 0, and then this one is that the weird tracking day. So even if we want to call it 8, 9, it's still pretty low. And his over under 4.5 is juiced to the gills, so you'd want to take 5.5. And then the 5.5 number, he's hit 1 time with LeBron and Luka. And then LeBron, his assists, number 6.5 is pretty low, so you'd want to pump this up to 7.5. His isn't bad. He just isn't driving as much as Luka. Obviously, now his number's lower. But from an assist perspective, the matchup isn't as good, 5 of 15. And his pick and roll ball handler is down. His numbers of running the pick and roll are down compared to Luka, who's at this number like 22%. So it's a little bit higher. So again, the numbers, the odds take that into account, but the matchup is the best for Luka. In terms of other plays that I looked at his first quarter points because he's just an absolute wizard with that. Again, you take out those first 2 games. It's 6 of his last 9, specifically with LeBron. The matchup is also really good from a points perspective. 10 of the last 15, or 10 of 15 total, have hit their point prop over against the Bulls. You see a lot of green, pick and roll ball handler, 5th most, and then some average play types from there, but then like off screen, post up. Not that Luka's doing that a ton, but still ways Luka can score. On the other side, my favorite bet on the Bull side actually was Josh Giddey on the rebounds plus assists. This was 14.5. Looks like you can still get 14.5. The biggest thing here is Noah Dosunmu, who's missed 18 games this year. And look at that hit rate. 72%, averaging almost 18 combined rebounds plus assists for Giddey. Now, he missed about a week, 9 days, so close to 10 days, whatever. First game back, played 31 minutes, just would have hooked the rebounds plus assists. So if I was, if you're asking me like, okay, if I had to add a 4th play, it'd probably be this Giddey one. I feel weird about having 2 plays in the same game, especially with the weirdness around like, is LeBron going to play or not? But Giddey without AO, it's just his usage rate in terms of, I guess, his non-points usage rate, whatever that's called, from rebounds and assists is phenomenal. His threes have also been pretty good. You can get plus money for over 1.5. He just has low volume, which is always scary. But I mean, 2 of 4, 2 of 5, 3 of 4, and then 0 4, 0 3. His threes would also be a decent look as well, as I mentioned. But the rebounds and assists is probably my favorite one. And even if you wanted to take the plus money for 15.5, I wouldn't hate that. But regardless, that's all we got. 3 official bangers plus some leans for you guys to lock in. We got Kyle Kuzma over 22.5 points plus rebounds. We got Luka over 7.5 assists. We got Dyson Daniels over 5.5 rebounds as our 3 official plays for today. Appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe. Check out the links in the description of the video. Check out the link to Props Madness that I put on the screen. Check out in the pinned comments. Check out the link to No Vig that I put in the comments. And then the last thing is just a link to my Tails account, which is where I send all my plays out. So it's $10 a month if you're interested in signing up. Gets you everything that I'm playing. The cool thing about Tails is that I can actually link the bet directly through just their line shopping tool. So when I send it out, you can actually literally just click this button and it takes you directly to the bet. Now, not every single bet is going to show up on their tool. Like if I'm taking an alt price, that won't, or first quarter props don't show up either. So the way those get sent out is just like this. I give you kind of the recap of what we're doing, NBA Player Prop Friday. This is from yesterday. I give you the play, and then I give you the screenshot of the odds just to show you that it's a real bet. So that's what we're looking at here. 3 official bangers for you guys to lock in. Again, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure to bet responsibly and have a good one.